In a crazy wave that happened September 30th, a whole bunch of people on Twitter went on to expose the creator of Dress to Impress. So, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, Dress to Impress is probably the most popular Roblox game at the moment, and it's created by a developer called Gigi. The game basically, you walk around as a little Roblox character, you're given a prompt to dress up as, and you have 5 minutes or less to do so. But allegedly, there's been a whole bunch of allegations against the developer. So, this is the first of 4 threads that I found so far, and this was tweeted by Miss Spongies or Sarah on September 30th. And they wrote, speaking out against Gigi, the owner of Dress to Impress. Trigger warnings, mentions of grape. Here's a doc for anybody who wants to read it. So the document reads, I didn't want to make this doc, but I feel like I've been done so wrong that I can't stay silent. I'll be using the word allegedly a lot in my tweet to avoid any potential legal trouble because Gigi has threatened people with legal action if they were to reveal her true personality. I believe everything that I'm about to write to be true though. I won't let her threats of legal action or her status scare me into being silent, and I won't tolerate this level of disrespect towards my work or myself. Some names are censored because they wish to remain anonymous. I also had to leave out some screenshots and people's testimonies because they're afraid of being harassed, sued, or fired. By the way, Gigi's rich because Dress to Impress made bank. I also want to explain Gigi, from my understanding, might be a minor and they might have just turned 18. They're either 17 or 18 years old. They're pretty young, and I want you guys to keep that in mind. So Sarah continues, I'm sure you all know the owner of Dress to Impress, Gigi. I've never had a problem with her, nor did I think she had a problem with me, since she added me a few days after It Girl released. By the way, for context, Sarah is a developer themselves and created the game It Girl for Roblox. However, a couple of her ex-developers have reached out to me in the past few days and told me some things she said about me and my game. According to her ex-devs, she allegedly had a group chat with her devs and friends where they had constantly spoken badly about my game as well as myself. They weren't just petty little comments. There were some really vile things said, which is why I won't let this go. The first and biggest claim I want to talk about, which is also the claim that drove me to write this, is that she allegedly told her group chat if my game blew up, she would frame me for being an R-worder. When she said this in the group chat, her ex-devs had a negative reaction to this joke, so she deleted the message. We have Discord user Chowi writing, also she wanted to frame owner of It Girl of R-word to get her canceled, but we reacted weirdly and she deleted. I could keep going what the F, but it's okay now, I guess. And this was written September 7th, 2024. Redacted said, and basically Gigi was so jealous and furious that she wanted to expose you for R-word. I sadly don't have the screenshot because she deleted her message immediately after she told us this. So again, these are allegations. We don't have a screenshot of Gigi actually saying this. The second claim is that she allegedly wanted to DMCA my game for being a copy. I've never spoken publicly about this, but my game has been in development since last year. My main inspiration was actually Nova City, formerly known as Sugar Girl. Another key inspo for the bodies and clothing style was Royal High. Dress to Impress did not revolutionize using layered clothing in dress-up games, so to call It Girl a copy is not fair because you can easily say the same thing about Dress to Impress and Fashion Famous. So Redacted says, okay, so basically I was working with Gigi for a while, we were really good friends, but then some months ago she just became super petty and actually got very jealous of your game and greatness you and your game to DMCA because she thinks you're copying Dress to Impress and use the concept of the game to be famous. And Sarah says, Gigi wants to DMCA It Girl. Redacted says Gigi first started by joking around and then started to actually insult the game and planned to DMCA the game, but she wasn't able to because it's only just similar to the game and not an actual copy. She got so mad that she decided to expose you in the future if It Girl became even more famous and more than Dress to Impress. And in replying to Sarah saying Gigi wants to DMCA It Girl, Redacted said, yeah, she wanted in other games too. Redacted said she also shaded your game saying the faces were ugly and too big and saying some clothes were a copy of Dress to Impress. Redacted continues, I couldn't stand with her behavior saying It Girl is shit and that you're copying her game or whatever. I actually stayed there for a moment because I needed the money for IRL reasons, otherwise I just wanted to leave. I couldn't leave immediately because I wasn't able to. Sarah continues, Gigi had also done nothing to stop trolls from constantly hating on my game, which is something that I would do if I were in her shoes. But knowing what I know now, I understand why she never did, since the hate was also coming internally from her and her team. This is a bit aside from the point, but her game is consistently one of the top games on Roblox, so I don't understand why she felt threatened by a small game like mine. She admitted that this was the case in the apology she messaged me a few days ago. I also will say, just throwing in my 2 cents though, obviously this stuff is not okay, but I would also say it's not really Gigi's responsibility to like deal with the trolls that are commenting about another game because she has her own game to worry about. Playing devil's advocate here, obviously she should not be instigating these comments herself, which clearly is what it sounds like allegedly is happening. Again, in this document, we don't have any screenshots of Gigi doing it. We only have alleged DMs between her devs and Sarah. So everything is alleged. This is all written from Sarah's perspective. I will say again, it's not Gigi's responsibility to deal with your trolls, like trolls about your game. She should not have been instigating it herself, which it sounds like she is doing. So I guess these are the DMs for the apologies. And it reads, I was just very mad because I felt like my game is being copied. And I also saw TikTok videos shading Dress to Impress, which triggered me so much. But still, I know that's no excuse. I'm truly sorry for making those comments about your game, even if it was in private. It was never right. Now I see that there's no need to feel threatened by other games. Sarah continues, another one of her devs told me that she allegedly somehow got a photo of me and sent it in their group chat and that they were fat shaming me and making jokes about me breaking the floor. I don't have any pictures of me online online, so I instantly knew that they were bullying some random girl, but that doesn't change the fact that they were trying to bully me for how I look. The ex-devs don't have screenshots of her behavior because she would delete the messages and they were also removed from the group chat where these convos took place. So Chowi says Gigi was smart and created a new Jenn chat in the dev server and probated the other one. I can't retrieve info, but if you ask any of the devs, they'd agree. And oh my god, Sarah, I don't know if it was you, but a specific image of you, they were making fun of you as well, saying shit like the floor is gonna break or something. But it was like pictures of quote unquote you standing in front of a wooden fence. I have no idea if it was you, but they said it was. One of the devs who reached out to me said if you ask any of her current devs, they could also testify that these things happen, but they probably won't, and I understand that because Dress to Impress is a lot of people's livelihood. Dress to Impress has a massive fan base, by the way, so I can completely understand why people would be scared to speak up against a game with a humongous fan base, especially because Roblox does skew pretty young. A lot of people who play Dress to Impress, the people that I know, are actually adults, but Roblox can skew very young, and you don't know what some people on the internet who are very big stands of games or people would do. Sarah continues, for anybody who may be doubting whether these things were actually said, Gigi herself reached out to me and tried to send me an apology after there was a rumor spreading around that somebody was going to release a doc about her. There are other people who have had issues with Gigi, but those docs were completely unrelated to me. I only decided to make this today. I feel like if she was truly sorry, she would have come to me ages ago and apologized for the way she acted. So the DM reads, and this is from Gigi, I'd like to deeply and sincerely apologize for all my comments about you and your game, and also my comments about you. I am very, very, very sorry, and I shouldn't have said those things. Trust me, it was in the heat of the moment, and I would have never said it otherwise. I was just being very mad because I felt like my game was being copied. We saw, I guess, the bottom half of this, and now we see the full one. Continues, we've been friends on Discord since the release of my game, which was in July. So from July to September, she's had every chance to reach out to me and talk things out or apologize, but she chose to apologize only after learning that people wanted to expose her. That's why I believe her apology is disingenuous and is just an attempt at damage control. Either way, an apology isn't simply enough to fix a situation like this. I also will say, from my understanding, Gigi's like 17, I believe. 18 at the oldest, 16 or 17 at the youngest. I do want to keep that into account because she is young. Her prefrontal cortex definitely is not developed yet. And so this thread is basically the entire document, but just in Twitter form. So I read the document instead because it's more concise. But Sarah adds extras, but she isn't nicer to any of her own friends. So here we can see the DMs where Chowi says Tiago is white, and Gigi says, girl, I saw your hands. And somebody says, OMG, OMG. And Gigi says they were fat and white. And Sarah adds, I forgot to mention, but as a developer, I will naturally run into dozens of people who have worked for other games. I literally have never heard a single nice thing about her from her ex-friends or from anyone else that has worked for her in the past. I think that speaks volumes. Nito says, never heard anything good about her, especially with how she treats her team. Foul-ass behavior from somebody who owns the biggest game on Roblox. And Sarah says this. And trying to find a screenshot of Devil's Advocate as well, because again, these are pretty damning things to say, right? But a lot of these is he said, she said, and we don't have actual proof of a lot of these things coming out of Gigi's mouth. But we have Luwen saying, just to make sure, are you sure this isn't ex-devs that are also trying to fake screenshots of Gigi's messages and are jealous because they are no longer working for Dress to Impress? Sarah says, I wouldn't have made this thread if she didn't come to apologize to me. I think her apology is proof enough that these things are true. I will say, apologizing for bad behavior definitely does sound like you did bad behavior. How bad that behavior is again up for debate because we don't have any screenshots so far of words coming out of Gigi's mouth. Liu Wen says, really sorry about that, but I hope that we provide solid evidence that are Gigi's messages herself. These screenshots are from ex-devs and there can be chances they're trying to add up story. I'll be neutral for now because at least for me, an apology isn't enough evidence. I do agree on this. And okay, so I'm trying to keep this all in order because so many docs and exposés and responses about Gigi and whatever came out all on September 30th. From what I have seen, Sarah's was the first one at 1:21 p.m. Then at 3:37 p.m., we have Royal Luna stating more proof in Chowero's thread, and Para has a whole thread if you're confused. Was the mod that was shown. So this was 2:52 p.m. Chower writes, trigger warning, mentions of SH and life ending. This is my first thread or whatever. Sorry if I don't sound formal or whatever. Anyways, how do I start this? I explained myself and the reason for my inactivity and where I was at the time. Multiple voice chats and she gave me the suggestion I was lying about it or making up lies. This proves she's not sincere and doesn't even care about her workers. Her response to all my explanation was heart. So here we have the DMs between Chowi and Gigi. So this was on August 19th, 2024. I've been struggling with life-ending thoughts and self-harm for 2 years. I've had Royal Luna help me, but behind the scenes, I'm struggling, keeping myself together, but thank God I have amazing friends like you guys. Gigi sends a photo of somebody kind of giving like a side eye, saying, you must be honest, ... Chowi says, Gigi, I have attempted life-ending 3 times and haven't had the urges for 3 months. My last urge was last week and I don't know what to do to convince you. I can't lie about this. Even talking about it is so uncomfortable, but you are my boss, so I do need to talk to you about my problems. I don't know what else to say. Gigi says, what are you saying isn't adding up though? And asking to get paid first day back and starting school too? you. This doesn't sound very real. I'm very sorry. You've disappeared before and reappeared. I don't know. If it's real though, I'm very sorry. You should take a break and go to a therapist and focus on your mental health instead of being on here. Chowi says, I mentioned about payment twice a few weeks back. You told me to send you my works, but it's okay. I understand you think my problems are fake. I'm very sorry. I'll continue with my day. It's okay. I've been at therapy for the past week, which is why I'm back now. But yeah, I'll continue doing my past work in progress. Mwah, love you. Gigi says, you say hospital and now therapy. Also, you've been active the last week. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to make sense. Chowi says, I understand it's difficult for you to understand. It doesn't make sense. Let me try to explain. Gigi, hospital and therapy. To tell somebody who self-harms that they're lying about something as serious as this is kind of weird. I've been active. What's the percentage of the activity, Gigi? Below 5%, little Twitter posts and a few messages mean nothing. It's disappointing that I have to explain myself for saying I attempted to die. Death is not a joke and I never joke about it. Talking about it is triggering. I've been threatened to get fired because of inactivity and you think that's me being active? I again apologize for my heated text. I really don't want to make you mad, but I have to explain myself. I have ADHD. Masking is a coping mechanism for some of us with it. And I have to constantly make myself this funny image and I'm tired of it, so let me explain myself. I'm not perfect at all. I'm not the best modeler. I'm not the best person ever, but I'm also human. I'm sorry that I disappeared, but unfortunately, I've had to deal with the thought of dying and leaving everyone. I have hospital appointments and therapy appointments to help. I've been active because I get my phone here and there. It doesn't mean I'm lying. But also, I don't understand what you want in the meantime. Do you want a photo of my self-harm? And Gigi says, girl, no. Let me read this later. It's a lot. I just woke up. Oh my God. I just want to acknowledge the fact that Gigi is like 17. But I also will say too, like you're at the end of the day are running a business where you have employees you have hired. I don't know how the contract looks like between them, right? Whether they're full-time, whether they're freelancers, whether they're just like contract employees. Stating you don't believe somebody because they've been going through feelings of self-harm and life-ending thoughts is really, 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 I don't even have words to put for this. It's gross. I'm gonna be honest. This kind of really shows at the end of the day that from these screenshots, at least, I don't know Gigi as a person, right? Sounds like they really care about business and business only, and they don't give a crap about you. I feel like, I'm just gonna be honest too, Dress to Impress has made bank. It is one of the most popular Roblox games ever, and it has made Gigi a lot of money. Do you need the money that badly? I'm gonna be real. Like, is it really gonna hurt you to kind of just like give Chowi the payment in advance? If it is a loss, it is what it is, right? If allegedly Chowi is lying, is it really gonna hurt you? I don't think you're paying Chowi like millions, right? I don't think it's that big of a deal to give a payment in advance just to be kind and call it a day. I think at the end of the day, just like kindness is a big thing, you know what I mean? Just give benefit of the doubt. It doesn't hurt just to wish Chowi well, hope they get better and they can return. And hey, if it's a loss on the advance, it is what it is. But just, hey, you know, here's the payment. Like, I hope you can get your work done in time. That's just me personally. Again, I will say Gigi again is 17. I am 7 years older than her. I am 24. So I have had a lot more time to get more experience about this stuff. If I was 17, I don't know how I would honestly behave if I made a game and then it became as popular as Dress to Impress. I honestly probably would be wildin'. This level of kind of like lack of care or empathy towards somebody who has worked on your game for a while, I don't know. That doesn't look good to me. I'm gonna be honest. So some more DMs. Gigi says, why? In reply to Chowi saying, life-ending attempt. Chowi says, it's low-key personal, but I'm getting better. There's some voice memos and I don't really know what's said there. Chowi says, sorry if it was a lot. I don't want to waste your time. And Gigi says, girl, why are you speaking an American accent? And then, haha, kind of like face roll on the keyboard. I feel like that's also a bit disrespectful. Like kind of maybe Gigi doesn't know how to cope with this heavy topic, so they're resorting to humor. I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt. So Chowi adds, to add on, she had the audacity to go behind my back and replace my items for influencers. An example was Royal Dior's code. I made it and was requested to decimate it. Okay, cool, I did that. Next thing I know, I'm fired. When I told Dior she wasn't getting her code, she was confused. So she asked Gigi and Gigi said I was paid when I wasn't whatsoever. Again, I apologize about how messy this thread is. I'm going through a mix of emotions right now. Again, this thread isn't formatted. I just wanted to share this because I can't be in the dark. And Royal Luna adds, hi BB, you forgot to add this, but anyways, she accused Chowi of lying first. Chowi didn't just randomly trauma dump like God. The way the message is cropped, it does look like it came out of nowhere, right? But Gigi says, girl, you can't lie about serious things like this, in reply to something that was sent in the Dress to Impress dev server. And then that's why Chowi started messaging. And then Sarah says, she's so insensitive, like this is somebody who's seriously lacking empathy. So sorry, Chowi. I do agree too. I'm just saying, like, the lack of empathy is just kind of really gets me. Going back to Royal Luna's post, here we have an entire thread made by Para, which is also linked by Royal Luna. So in this thread, Para writes, thread with all the evidence and documents I've been sent on Gigi, the owner of Dress to Impress. This was 3:12 p.m. So this was like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes after the one that was made by Chowi. So the first one was about Sarah that we've read. And then the second one is trigger warning / NSFW plus racism, the document made by the ex-owner Mizuki. So Mizuki writes, and this was at 2:37 p.m. I really want to keep this private. I had already spread this document to some people, but I need to reveal the document I made as her ex-owner and that I discovered several things years ago. So this document reads, this will be updated a lot. I also want to let you know in case any more updates come out. I am currently filming Wednesday, October 2nd at 2:16 a.m. in the morning. Look at my beautiful cat. It reads, Gigi/Kozo is towards darker African people, homophobic towards other LGBT, exploiter, hacker, rumor doxer, scammer, allegedly scam 4 people, model leaker, leak game models from games they don't like, hypocrite bought nudes from minors, had NSFW server with minors, including Dress to Impress, co-owner DR, 12 server raider. So it says, read the whole doc. Gigi is trans male to female. I respect her pronouns. If you are in serious help, I recommend report to Roblox support to report her, and don't be scared to come out with more info. By the way, I just want to add this. Don't send hate to anybody. That will just make you stoop as low as them. The doc continues, this 18 plus server that Gigi owned, my friend got invited into the server a long time ago and found this weird stuff. Some developers of Jenn's Malibu mansion were here and were underage. Gigi was 14 or 16 at the time. I don't know their age. The server is from 2021 to 2022 but got deleted. I'm just saying right now, Gigi at most is 18 years old right now. At most. Why is there an NSFW 18 plus server when you are not 18? So here is the server. It's called like Pern server, so I slay in words they're doing there. Oh, and please note, Gigi's old names are Quodiz, Quen, and Kozokui. They've changed their name, so they renamed to Gigi. Gigi's the newest one. So let's see, here they're going by the name Quen. The server, oh, you can see the categories. They have normal categories and then a category called Corn NSFW. Gay corn, other corn, good corn, digital, and Smex. I'm not talking about the food or my cat, guys. If you guys didn't know, my cat is named Corn, but it was because he was originally named after Corrin, the Dragon Ball Z cat. The original owner named him that, and then I just removed the I. So here we have Quen, which was one of Gigi's older aliases. Allegedly, this is something NSFW, and somebody says Anime High School, and Quen says Per or Gigi. And then it alleges Gigi stole the idea of Dress to Impress from us. So here you can see Gigi writes, oh, I've transferred that runway system to other projects. Sorry. For the others though, ... Eternal writes, oh, but don't you think you can finish the runway for RK? Players were already expecting the runway update and we wanted it for quite some time. Gigi says, so sorry. I thought with the summer update, you guys wanted to focus on the tournaments instead. So I started my own project with that system. It's come very far with the development and I can't cancel it. Sorry again. Hope you understand. Oh, so they were supposed to make that runway, the Dress to Impress runway, for a different game? Racism towards one's own ethnicity. So Kozois, another one of Gigi's aliases, says disgusting, and it's a photo of a darker skinned male with curly hair. I get they're young and people try to be edgy when they're young. They're probably like 15 or 16 here, but kind of not cool, bro. So Gigi says, I'm not white. Somebody says, are you Arab? And they say North African. And they say this is why. And it's another stock photo of a lighter skinned. I'm not good at judging people's ethnicities. They're definitely not white though. They look to be like Hispanic North African. Mitsuki writes, the exploiting that happened in Fashion Dolls, a game originally owned by Peachbee, was caused by Gigi in a group chat he had created to exploit the game. Do they mean to say she? Or does Peachbee's pronouns he? Mitsuki writes, some people in a server noticed Fashion Dolls by Peach shut down and Gigi mock. Mitsuki adds, I don't have the group anymore, but Gigi was exploiting Fashion Dolls here. She threatened the owner. Gigi writes, why is Fashion Dolls down? And oh, I'm not gonna read the name, but somebody says, got hacked, leaked, exploited. Another person said, has like a meme of somebody covering their face, and Gigi is making like a thinking emoji. Gigi getting fired from a game and people discover. I remember exactly because I was in the game server as a fan of the game. So somebody says they got fired for being a snake and blackmailing people for Robux. So Gigi says, I'm the only one out of 3 who got fired, and the person I was blackmailing is racist and problematic. And who the F told you that? SMH, you'll be so mean you play the game I brought to life. Oh, well, they admitted they were blackmailing. Again, I'm just saying, we've all done dumb stuff as teenagers, bro, but the list is getting longer here. So somebody had asked, does anybody know why? Deleted user says, somebody said she blackmailed people for Robux. So another random screenshot, Gigi says, I sent gay corn to a Muslim guy and he is mad. I hope there's context to explain that one. Another screenshot, Gigi says, why is every scripter a straight boy? Somebody says, moans, aren't you a scripter? Somebody says, I don't know, they're ugly though. And Gigi says, one is sexy, thinking emoji. Again, these are minors. Another screenshot, Gigi said, you're just a jealous bitch and now I know your true colors. The one true thing there is that there's a server I had when I was 13 to 14. I deleted it within a day and it was a mistake. Everything else is is lies. Mitsuri writes, Gigi called all of this doc a lie in December 2023. So more DMs between Gigi and a person called Melody. Melody says no clothing anymore. Gigi says yes, and Melody says okay then. Gigi says hello, and Melody says what do we think? And it's a photo of like a Roblox head with sunglasses. And Gigi says we think it's ugly. Another screenshot where Mitsuki writes, Gigi making fun of a person's 3D modeling. I got permission to post. The user with the robot profile photo was Gigi. She attacked Coral Bay, and even the owner posted on Twitter. It goes with the handle Quodiz, which is one of Gigi's old aliases. So Gigi writes, I'm not. The optical struggle says true. Izzy says, I swear, like people who troll say the same stuff over and over again. You sound like a damaged radio. Move. Gigi says, I hope your grandma catches you having intimate fun with yourself. And then something redacted finishes on her. I hope you feel shame. So here are some screenshots about the fashion doll situation. So a Twitter user by the handle Delista writes, exposing Gigi, the creator of Dress to Impress. Gigi also went by the name Kozo during this time at Jenn's Malibu mansion. And Peach B writes, Gigi exploded fashion dolls. I'm crying so much. Mitsuki writes, proof of Gigi exploiting and hacking a game called Fashion Dolls. You can see Gigi says, true, since it came out my money has gone down 60%. Mitsuki writes, attacking other games. It's also rumored that Gigi refused to put in plus size bodies because she didn't want inclusivity. So this is December 28, 2020. Gigi writes, I expect you to delete that message, whomever you shared it with. And then in reply to somebody called who writes, that information was never shared to anybody except from that somebody sent it to me. And Gigi says, why do you talk shit about me and hate me just because my game gained success? Do not spread lies about me. I effing respected you and worked for you for years, and this is how you pay me back. Find your own ideas and do not copy my game. And there's a final link to another thread about Dress to Impress. So the next tweet we have is a tweet by Peacherino, and this was made September 30th at 3:49. Peacherino writes, mega thread explaining everything. Gigi, the owner of Dress to Impress. Let's go on to address the child corn, buying NSFW photos of other minors, racism, fat phobia, harassing staff, and all the other stuff pertaining to these situations. Gigi has literally made and involved themselves in 18+ servers as a minor, continuously making 18+ jokes, bought and solicited photos with other minors. These were the screenshots that were shown. Umoe got paid to make the reply for Gigi, but will later state she had no idea about the incident or many of the terrible things Gigi had done and continued to do. In fact, let's get on to talk about the tap dancing this girl has done. So here is a post made stating, hi loves, I want to address the recent thread made by Delista owner, his/Brandon, whom I was very close friends with about 2 years ago. First off, I like to clarify that me and his were friends in 2021/2022 when I was around 14 to 15 and he was, I believe, a year older. And this was tweeted by Gigi. It's embarrassing and very hard for me to admit that yes, we did send private photos to each other as naive minors. We should have had more parental advisory. But what I did not do is ever leak or threaten to leak his/Brandon's spicy photos. I never once saved them to my device. Umoye writes, Gigi wanted to put out a statement because people in her chat were talking about it and stating she did this. This was also written in March 17, 2024. Redacted says, oh yeah, she did it 100%, but it would have been better if she just never spoke on it. Umoye says, oops, so should she delete? Or Redacted says, yes, delete. Umoye says, she paid me extra to write the statement for her because her English is bad. Oh, so she didn't even write her own statement? So Peacherino adds, she got a position from the previous Dress to Impress community manager for literally begging for it. Gigi didn't even want to hire her. Then after her previous manager quit, they suggested Poison plus Umoye, but they started excluding her. Most likely Umoye. But Peacherino continues, literally stealing the idea of Dress to Impress from a close friend of mine, as well as R2K, stole assets, stole employees. We revisited some of that in the previous doc. Peacherino says, just a racist, and general has always been in fact. Literally hired Umoye for the sole reason of retorting that she's not a racist. Literally hours of her just being a flaming racist. Hairstyles in Dress to Impress viewing them as undesirable. These screenshots we've already seen. So Peacherino adds, harassing R2K owners, reusing stuff from previous games she's worked on, harassing and attacking everyone after building her game off stolen ideas, assets, and POC creators. This was the screenshot of somebody talking about the runway and Gigi hijacking it. So here are DMs on August 4th, 2023 between Bella and Gigi. Bella saying, are you available to help us with the fashion runway minigame the 5th or the 6th of this month? By the way, we already have the builds done. And Gigi says, oh, is the entire summer minigames with Cosmo Fish canceled? And Belle says, yeah, because we're having some personal issues with it and it was too much for us. Somebody called Owen is saying, yes, thank you. Belle says, oh, Owen had an idea of a fashion show minigame for a long time and it's already scripted and kind of finished. We just need the build for it. Do you think it'll be okay if the runway is a part of it? And this was on May 7th, 2023. Owen says, yes, of course, that was my idea for the judge panel and stuff like. Peacherino says, there's so much more. This is the tip of the iceberg. And they add, adding confirmation, this is Gigi right here. I'll be continuing to add more and more to this thread to explain the best of my abilities, the context behind them, and what's happening. So here's somebody writing, no wonder you get canceled so much. Gigi says, that's why I changed my name to Kazo to Gigi. And here is their Gigi Dress to Impress Roblox page, and you can see previous usernames, including Quodiz, Kazo Kui, Red dev Red Zoqui, owned by Gigi Airlines. So here Peacherino writes, telling Chowi that they're fat and white, they're black, and faking a life-ending attempt fire them after the fact and made fun of their work additionally. So we've already seen these screenshots. I didn't see the part where Gigi told Chowi that they're fat and white. Maybe I missed something. So then the next section is we have a thread by Fuck Dress to Impress. And that was the thread that was linked at the end of Mitsuki's post. So let's read this one. F writes, first let's talk about Nini, the previous administrator, a known groomer and total B. See attached screenshots. For context, Gigi told another mod she wouldn't be canceled for grooming. She didn't even want to tell Nini she was fired herself. So somebody writes, I would eat up on stage and I know y'all miss me. Nini says, would you shut the actual F up? Nobody genuinely cares about this. Gigi says, would you like to talk with Nini? Lydia writes, I really can't because we're on the same rank, so there's not much I can do. Gigi says, oh, I don't know what to tell her. Who's a higher rank? Maybe this is in regards to firing. Lydia says, this will get you canceled even if it was in the past. You know how people are. I know you love and care about this game, so I don't want anything to happen to it, and I don't want you to get canceled. Gigi says it won't and wouldn't. Please direct whomever feels uncomfortable to me, and I'll personally apologize to them. Secondly, attaches a 20-minute long recording of Dress to Impress mods leaking people's emails through an event and then laughing and making a poll to leak.
I'm not reading all this.
I'm sorry. Shut up. Jesus, stop complaining. You're not even reading it.
I mean, I'm trying to give benefit of doubt because I know Gigi is young. And I'm assuming almost all these people involved are probably also young. But I truly hope this is a scenario where when you get a bunch of people together, the collective brain cell count just drops. You know what I mean? Like, with teenage boys, I feel like they're like chill on their own, but then you put a group of them together and there's F writes, onto Serenity, a previous mod who was exposed for doxing and saying slurs in private channels regarding other members. The proof is a little difficult to follow. She was matching with other members who participated in doxing. Gigi refused to ban or demote her. So here somebody says, Tola sending me a photo of her and others matching as the photo. Oh, wow. So they're all matching with like NSFW profile photos. And they write Serenity matching, so that's how I knew. And yeah. Here's a screenshot from a message with the Wired saying, because I got the motive and already I was like, perfect, I'm leaving then. Somebody says, here she got the motive for leaking mod chat. Damn, Luke says, what did she even leak? Hello. And they say, please. Somebody says she leaked messages in a group chat with her, Lydia, Serenity, I think, and other friends. She told me about the staff team and what the F, it's crazy. I know, I'm in there, I have a sixth sense. I feel it, Lord. And here's a bunch of DMs between somebody called Seesaw and somebody called F that, yeah, we need to censor that name too. What is with all these like really inappropriate names? So the DM Seesaw writes, it's a white person using a black hairstyle, that's the appropriation. I'm not the person who can decide what is and what isn't appropriation, but we were told it by somebody who can decide. I understand your frustration, but the reaction warranted a punishment. I hope you can understand. How do they know they were white anyways? Seesaw says, I can't comment on it either way, it's not my place. What I can comment on is why you were warned, and that's because you reacted with a laughing emoji to a message saying cultural appropriation wasn't appropriate. Serenity says, OMG, not that R word. And F writes, Serenity would constantly be NSFW in a community with minors and was also not banned or demoted. And you can see here in just chatting, Serenity is just spamming the P word, referring to your member, okay? I don't like saying this, feels uncomfortable. And then F says, upon me getting doxxed, a fellow moderator, Katie, questioned the legitimacy despite the proof. She was also just generally crazy, constantly having mental breakdowns in public. Okay, this screenshot is kind of scuffed because texts are like overlapping over each other. Katie says KMS, and then we have somebody called Genesis saying, I'm so pissed, why do people do blank while I'm on break? It's blocked by a photo of a cat. Katie says, can somebody enlighten me on the doxing situation? What actually happened? Gumi Katie says, Kyo got doxed, literally like address and all by some Pascal dude. A post that was then added was deleted. F says, all around the entire dev team was toxic. Devs will say slurs in the main chat were not removed. Mods literally did not care whatsoever. So somebody called Tiago had written some stuff and it is like drawn over with the text writing, I'm homophobic, burn the. Somebody called Symbology wrote, this is why F word slur for gay or LGBTQ people don't deserve rights. Burn the gays. Here is a message sent by a user, which was deleted, saying you are all, and then it's the letters F, and then there is an emoji of you can put this together. It's the F slur. F continues, there was a known situation where Gigi stole assets from The Sims, hence why all those hairs were removed, and the whole fashion star situation. Supporting the Dress to Impress community is disgusting and a mistake. F adds, after I spoke out, they promptly fired me. Their community manager, Umoye, did absolutely nothing about any of the situations. Essentially, all she did was make them say sorry for mistreatment, and genuinely didn't care. So here's the message Umoye sent over to F, stating, hi, Kyo, I would like to say, I approved your demotion because I was told you leaked mod chat and had leaked mod chat before, but seeing what you sent, I'm gonna give you the TLDR because it's lying. Seeing what you sent, proof of the mod's inappropriate behavior, I need to reconsider things. We might need to demote some people, and after those reconstruction and demoting, hopefully things are better. I talked with Lydia about the saying peen, basically over and over again. And Lydia apologized and she says she won't do it again. F says, I would fired for speaking about mod chat, but every other mod had done the same thing. Don't trust their community. Not to mention they told us mods not to ban people for being sexist to non-binary people and men, saying it was okay for members to wish death upon them. Wait, what? Serenity says, y'all stop banning for sexism against men. Like, some of the shit people are getting banned for is actually unreal. Kyo says, what gets banned though? Can we have clarification and examples? I don't know what's considered sexism or an opinion. Wait, actually, I feel like making a Google slide for a mod guide with real examples would be so helpful. I see a lot of people, even real moderators, asking to what extent can we moderate a certain subject. I feel like we should maybe loosen up regarding some rules, especially if their only intention was to promote positivity. Renee says, nah, I just did it in mod chat. Why? F adds more screenshots of mods talking about Nini, confirming that she was inappropriate with minors. So Izzy writes, unfortunately, she had to be demoted because she got serious reports about joking inappropriately, sexually with minors. I worry for her too, but hopefully she'll be okay. And Izzy says, disclaimer, I don't think Nini is an evil person or she was bad at her job at all. I just can't allow that behavior at all from an adult. To conclude, I probably missed a lot and this is probably hard to read. Please let me know if y'all want more screenshots or clarification. So then Gigi had made a document about the recent allegation, stating, I'll be adding more soon, but please read the document below. This is posted at 4:31 p.m. So I am trying to go in order. I'm just curious if Umoe also wrote this as well. So it reads statement. Hey everyone, I want to take the moment to address the allegations that have been going around on Twitter. I've been thinking about how to approach this and I think the best thing to do is just to be upfront and honest with y'all. So here's my side. Before I say anything, I just want to genuinely apologize for any hurt I have caused and for the things I've said that have offended anyone. I never meant to offend or upset anyone, but I get that my words and actions have impacted people and I'm really sorry for that. I'm learning and I know I need to be more aware, especially with a big platform. I'm committing to being better moving forward. Half of these instances happened when I'm 14, which is in no way an excuse. They aren't recent. I also want to clarify that I'm LGBTQ+ and not homophobic. I'm shaking while typing this because things I did so young are coming back to haunt me now, especially since a lot of it is being twisted or taken out of context. And just to clear this up, I saw someone say I'm in my 20s. I'm currently 17, so I figured Gigi was around 17. At the oldest, they could possibly be 18. R comment and it girl shade. I will admit that I made a vile and disgusting comment. It was a huge mistake and I regret it deeply, but I want to explain the context. Not as an excuse, but to help you understand what led to that moment. Sarah and her devs shaded me on TikTok and Twitter. I saw those posts. In the heat of the moment when emotions were running high, I reacted very poorly. I was upset, angry, and made a very wrong choice. I lashed out and said something that should never be said. I want to be very clear that it was never intended to be taken seriously. It was a horrible comment, one that I instantly regretted. You should never ever joke about something as serious as R-word, and I fully understand the gravity of that. I'm absolutely disgusted with myself for making that comment, and there's no excuse for it. It was vile, horrible, and horribly wrong, and I deeply regret ever saying it. All the allegations being thrown at me is that we fat shame Sarah, which is 100% untrue. I want to make it very clear that at no point did I ever discuss her appearance or make comments about her body. I don't even know what she looks like. No photos of her were ever shared, and I would never condone that kind of behavior. It's hurtful to even have that accusation out there because I know how damaging that kind of talk can be, and I would never want to be part of something like that. And then it adds, proof I didn't start shading It Girl first. Not an excuse, just wanted to show I didn't ever shade It Girl for no reason. And here's a message of somebody saying why you're trying to copy Dress to Impress, somebody writing I don't give an F, and then we have some like It Girl shading allegedly Dress to Impress. Next topic, NSFW server and past. I made some terrible choices when I was 14 and I spent years trying to move past them. I've learned from those mistakes and I'm not the same person I was back then. What's really frustrating is seeing these old accusations being twisted and misrepresented now, and that honestly is just as disgusting. I was never ever racist. I've never been racist towards black people or any other race, and I will never be. This accusation is a blatant lie. Any racist jokes I made were towards my own race and ethnicity, which is still disgusting, but I was also 14. I never doxed anyone. I've never bought inappropriate photos from minors. It's an extremely sensitive topic for me, and I hate that I have to bring it up again because it's traumatizing. But when I was 14, me and a trusted friend sent each other images of each other. I was very young and stupid, but I never bought minor inappropriate photos. Regarding the Discord server, that was made years ago. I want to be clear, no photos of minors were ever shared. Yes, it was an NSFW server, which in hindsight is really gross and inappropriate. At the time, I was literally just a bored kid. I honestly don't even remember much about what happened in that server. It's something I'm deeply disgusted by now. I apologize to Chowi for how I handled his mental health concern, explaining that I misunderstood due to language barriers, and I thought he was lying because he asked for payment immediately after returning. I don't understand the language barriers necessarily. Maybe Gigi's first language isn't English, but from my understanding, as far as I know, it is. I regret not being more empathetic and supportive during such a sensitive moment. I also apologize for being too harsh in my critiques of his work, admitting that I should have been more constructive rather than critical. I mentioned that I kept him on the team even during his 4-month absence when he didn't have a computer, out of trust and respect. I also addressed the Dior bag situation. I never received the file, and that the payment I made covered that scrapped item. I also like to speak up about these messages that were taken and spoken up about after I filed alongside the two ex-devs. I understand how much it hurt you, but I wish you would have told me at that moment to wait to have bad blood with me to tell me what I did wrong online. So here's a message from Tiago, which was one of the devs, and we've seen screenshots of Tiago where Tiago is saying that they want to forgive Gigi, that it wasn't that serious, and they want to come back to be a dev. Gigi adds, a lot of the fat phobia screenshots were me just joking around, which still doesn't make it right. I thought they were my friends, and I felt comfortable with them, which is why I didn't think twice at the time. But that doesn't excuse it. I'm never gonna joke like that again because I know how much harm it can cause, even if it wasn't meant that way. I would definitely say too, like the whole, oh, like I joke like this with my friends because I'm close with them, but I wouldn't do it in public. I would still say like these jokes should not be part of your arsenal. I mean, coming from people's appearance is definitely always a low blow when it comes to making jokes. There's always other things you can joke about. So here's a screenshot Gigi posted of an overweight woman stating POV you at Walmart, and somebody writing you in Miami ashamed to change to bikini. Gigi adds, this whole situation has been really weighing on me. I had to let go of people I cared about and it's been a lot to handle. I need to take a step back and process everything, reflect on my actions and focus on how I can be better. This has been tough, but I'm taking responsibility and using this as a chance to grow. I'll be taking some time to focus on myself and my mental health and figure things out. Thank you so much to those who've been understanding and supportive. It means a lot. I do want to add too, right? Like what Gigi has done is definitely effed up. The things they've said is not cool, but I really do want to re-emphasize the fact that they're 17 and to give them a little bit more grace. Normally, I do not side with people who have this type of behavior, but I'm saying they're young, bro. In my personal opinion, I don't think any, I'm gonna be honest, 16, 17-year-old should have such a big spotlight. They're clearly extremely talented, whether the idea of the game was genuinely theirs or they stole it from someone. They made a game, it got really popular, now they're thrust in a spotlight in charge of a team of developers making a game with tons of money coming in. These are things that like adults struggle to manage, let alone being a 17-year-old kid. Does that make the stuff they did okay? No. But I truly hope they can just be better. And I'm reasonably optimistic that they could. I know me at 24 years old, I'm absolutely nowhere near the same person I was at 17, let alone the same person I even was at like 19, 20, 21. Even me at 24 versus me at 23, I feel like I'm a different person now. Every single year, I feel like I'm a different person as I'm growing, aging, and my prefrontal cortex is developing, because apparently it doesn't even develop till you're 25 years old. So I know damn well if 16, 17-year-old me had a game with so much money coming in and people I had to manage, I would definitely blow it up because there's no way I would be able to handle that. So I'm really trying to be empathetic towards them due to their age. I feel like this is something where if they get older, like when they turn 21, 22, they're gonna look back and be like, holy crap, I can't believe all of this happened. That's a fever dream. Doesn't again excuse any of the stuff they're doing. I'm trying to be empathetic due to the fact they are so young. And I don't think any of us can really relate to them because I don't know if any of you guys are 16, 17 years old with such a massive game and a team of developers you're managing. I hope not. I truly hope you just have the chance to be a genuine kid, man, because that's something that I can't get back. I'm like 24 now, but I really want us to be empathetic. We have a quote retweet from a Twitter user, TavTav, where it's DMs between somebody called CEO and Gigi. CEO said, and this was all around like end of February 2024. CEO says, girl, isn't Slay the Runway also knockoff stairs? Before try to make a Dress to Impress dupe, just remember you will never be able to top them and gain their fame. It's impossible. Dress to Impress is the iPhone and you're the Nokia kid. Sit down. A bunch of laughing emojis. CEO says, looks around. Gigi says, find your own ideas. CEO says, sorry, too late, boo. Says, ... CEO says, I already invested money into it. Gigi says, girl, I will DMCA you. CEO says, okay. Gigi says, ho. CEO says, DMCA the other games too. Gigi says, bitch, ho, I hope you're joking right now because you can't use my assets. And CEO says, I'm not. And Gigi says, girl, why do you want to copy me? CEO says, or just remake it again. And Gigi says, you're okay with it? You're a thief. CEO says, you said it's fine and that you didn't care. Gigi says, I thought it was a showcase game. CEO says, remaking my own body-based game is being a thief now. Gigi says, that won't be published. Says, a showcase game is supposed to be published. So now we have a thread by user Vixen. Vixen writes, hello, many of you know me as Vixen or Vix, but I was previously formerly known as CEO. Oh, that's where CEO comes in. This is a thread on my experience with the Dress to Impress owner named Gigi. In December, my friend Illusories reached out to me about a game opportunity for weight painting and making clothes, and I took up the offer. I was proposed 800 Roblox piece per clothing to weight paint. Even though it wasn't in my sales range, I still went with it. Gigi says, hey bae, have you ever made clothes? CEO says, hey girly, I have in my free time, but for games, no. I work for Sugar Girls for a little, just some models and some UGC. Gigi says, Sugar Girls, and CEO says, yep, I wasn't an official dev, just an emergency one. And Gigi's asking when that was and for examples. Vixen, or or CEO continues, my first test run was a pair of beach shorts and she liked it, though it was plain. Later on, I showed her some joggers I made with stripes and she said she liked it, but it made him look fat, which was a deleted message. Tested it and said it made the avatar look chubby. So here we have some beach shorts and some joggers with stripes and a DM from Gigi that says, sorry babes, don't take it personally. Now that I'm testing it, it looks kind of chubby. Vixen says, after a while, I told her I was frustrated about the payment and her attitude towards me and throwing away my items like it was garbage. Younger me was upset, but realizing right now it wasn't that serious, lol. CEO in the DMs writes, I hope you can tell I'm pissed as hell. Gigi says, I can, I'm confused. Why? Why? Most people I've worked with tend to wait for 2 weeks in order to get pays. Sorry, I thought you would be fine with it too, but I guess the UGC community is different. After the 2-week wait, the payment will go through automatically without waits. CEO says, 1, not listening, 2, throwing away work I made for fun and you wanted it. 3, I had to make myself cheaper for your game, which it's a popular game and I'm really unsure why I had to do it. 4, I told you in the beginning I want to be paid in Game Pass form once all the stuff I was first tasked to do is done. And Gigi says, sorry, I'm not throwing away the work, I just don't want to use it. Well, that's like literally throwing it away, no? Gigi says, I DM 100 people a day, I forgot about the payment details. I believe that. Gigi is like, what, 17? Honestly, managing a game of this size takes an extraordinary amount of organization, and I'm not trying to discredit Gigi, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what 17-year-old would have the level of organization to pull it together. Vixen says, after we sorted things out, I figured, quote, why not make a showcase game for the items that get declined or our test drives? And Lord, that was both a regret and a blessing. I told her about it when I had the idea and she was fine with it, but then she said I was copying and stealing. So, so these were the DMs that I showed. So here's the end, the continuation. Vixen shows a couple screenshots saying, this is the dressing room work in progress. I'm gonna expand it because ain't no clothes fitting GN. I don't know what that means. Gigi says, oh, cute, ... CEO says, thanks. And CEO says, is it ugly? And Gio says, no, it's copying. So more DMs we've already read and more DMs we've already read. So Vixen says, yeah, it was just a showcase game to show what I'm capable of. I'm guessing they thought I was stealing because I recreated their UI to let me have my own feel of it, or that I referenced their items when I slowly stopped working for them, was when Glamorize happened. Below, I'll be giving context to other things I've collected info on. In the server, my name was CEO Weight Pink, and somebody changed it to Weight Gain Queen. This is just a sneak to her fact. So here with Gigi says, help, Weight Gain Queen, and CEO says, Vixen says, my friend Illusories joked on hating gay people and was sarcastic since both me and him are one. So it's like a humor thing. She agreed to it, and I personally don't think she took it as sarcasm. So Gigi says, show me the post where she calls me out for being homophobic, and Vixen says, KK, with a screenshot of somebody called Womp Womp saying, I hate gays, and then somebody, I think Gigi says something to say. It's super tiny, so it's really hard to read. So Vixen continues, in these screenshots, I may explain. She was worried Womp Womp or Illusories would expose her for being homophobic and wanted me to stop him. Also, how are you female and your boyfriend is gay? Doesn't make sense. At that time, me and Illusories had a mini fight and said that. So Gigi says, Womp Womp, why do you want to cancel me? Womp Womp being Illusories. Illusories says, why are you homophobic? Gigi says, I'm not. Womp, you're so bored. She says, okay, please just delete the post and get this done with. Please get CEO to get her to delete the post. Trying to cover tracks. Gigi says, I'm not homophobic. I love gay people. My boyfriend is gay. CEO says, probably in reference to how are you a woman, but your boyfriend is gay. I would say, like, it could be possible. I don't know the naming terminology is right. Like, some people use gay as kind of like a catch-all. Typically, the word queer is used in that scenario from my understanding. So I would say the whole, how are you a woman and your boyfriend is gay? I would actually say that itself is not really the most standard argument to use. Here's Gigi saying, okay, gays, don't beef again. And Vixen continues, my friend wanted to calm Gigi, but didn't want to do comms that she either didn't like the price or just didn't do. She had possibly scammed a bunch of people doing so. So Redacted says, I don't like her. She gets hired to all these dress-up games and quits one day after. And asked her to make me a dress-up system, but conveniently her comms are closed, getting hired at places instead. Vixen says, and who's the blueprint for Dress to Impress having lore? Me. At the time, I was a horror game maker, and she wanted to know my scripters' prices. I explained to her what they do and what AI was, NPC walking or WTV, wanted to use my scripter for it. Gigi says, AI, what's AI? Vixen says, like an NPC walking around, or if it's a killer, then it chases you, etc. Why do you ask? Gigi says, I need a scripter to help me with AI. Give me your scripter. Wow, that demand is really off-putting. Vixen says, I have no clue what else to add, but when I have more things, thank you for reading. And then they add, oh yeah, I forgot to say, check out this really cool document. These screenshots will line up to it. And that was a link to Mitsuki's doc. And here is again Gigi on their account stating, hi, I'm Quen, also Kozo, this is my new main account, proving that those aliases do belong to them. And here is the final thread that I found so far. This is by Jenn Demi. Jenn writes, my experience with Dress to Impress owners 2021 to 2024. Rude, leaker, exploiter, copier, inappropriate, and more. So I will also like to add for context, this is between when Gigi was 14 to 17 years old. Before we even start this thread, I want to show the proof that this is actually Gigi's old account. So here's an account with the handle Quen, where a deleted user says, hey Jen, do you have 31k Robux and 23.8k pending? Can I get my payment for the St. Patrick's Day update now? And Jen says, yeah, sure. How much? 25k. Don't give Luca the 5k. My username is Quenanes, and this is the user. Jen says, somehow Gigi became became a hacker as well, hacking and exploiting fashion dolls, I believe the name was. As you can see, I quickly wanted to fire her if she didn't stop immediately. This may have already been addressed. Where Peach writes, makes me too sad, all the work we put into the game to use exploits and steal assets, Roblox should have more security. And deleted user added that, and Jenn says, is that you? Deleted user says, maybe I'm undercover, don't worry. At Jenn, what do you think? They closed the game and everything, LMAO. And Jenn says, OMG. This was January 17, 2020. Gigi pretended to be 19 while working for me and messaged a fan of the game offering access to an unseen update in my game in exchange for explicit photos of the fan that was 18. Gigi was 14 or 15. Luckily, the fan had a brain and clocked it. So here are the DMs. Deleted user says, hey, I really do hate to be this person, but another one of your staff members. They told me private info about you for no reason. I really do hope you'd message me soon. I hate to think that you allow people on your staff team to consistently ask for somebody's NSFW photos. That does seem rather odd. So here we see deleted user saying this afternoon, and Jenn says he was saying he'd give you play access to JMM for nudes, and deleted user says, yeah, and offer me Roblox. Jenn says, did you tell, sorry, I'm gonna change the pronouns by the way, because this may be before Gigi went by she, her pronouns. She was saying she'd give you play access to JMM for NSFW photos. Redacted says, yeah, and offer me Roblox. Jenn says, did you tell her you were going to tell me? Deleted says, no, but I shouldn't have to cause that's weird in itself. Why is she messaging me that out of the blue? Jenn says, I don't know. I fired her many times. She's just the only scripter I can find, but this one, she's done. And deleted says, I was gonna start being like, yeah, it's weird. Jenn says, how old are you even? Deleted says, I'm 18. Jenn says, Quen is 14 or 15. Deleted says, ew, what the F? They said they were 19. Like, no, bitch. And deleted says, and you want me to believe you're 19? Jenn says, yeah, straight to the blacklist. And deleted added screenshots. With Quen, who we now know is Gigi, saying, how, please tell me redacted. Redacted says, nar. Quen says, why? Redacted says, how old even are you? And Quen says, or Quen or Gigi says, 19. What's your username? What can I search to find? Please, please. Redacted says, do you have proof of your age? Quen or Gigi says, how do you mean? Please said link. Redacted says, you're not 19. And deleted or redacted says, I'm in the loop again, help. Jenn says, if you play JMM, you know what the dress up system looks like. And Gigi was apparently using the same setup on all of her dress up projects at that time. How wonderful. So Jenn says, I'm okay with you making your own game, but make new stuff and maybe be original. Gigi says it's new. Jenn says that the same stuff from JMM be so for real. It's just on different sides of the screen. Gigi says, I change colors and everything, don't worry. Jenn says, Quen, you change the color for real? And Gigi shows the photo. Gigi says, Jenn, do you want me to add the shop back and bring the old data back? Everyone get their coins back. Because I feel bad, I just left it like this. And Jenn shows some screenshots saying, I'd appreciate if you didn't use my games, thanks. Gigi says, Jenn says, I'm okay with you making your own game, but make new stuff and maybe be original. Jenn says, another thing you know if you play JMM is our constant data issues. Gigi was our only scripter and constantly messed up our data making, so many players would lose their items before the game even got taken down. Which brings me to my next point. Here's some DMs with Jenn being like, your data is messing up, and Gigi being like, what? A lot of people are losing stuff. What do you mean data? The data you made. And here's a lot of reviews of people complaining about stuff being lost. Gigi being like, it's 1 a.m. Jenn says, you could have told me no, Jenn, I need to launch later. Gigi said, but you said this, then we can update. And Jenn says, Quen, I told you to check data and you said yes, so I assume you checked data and you didn't. And Jenn says, a lot of people lost their data, a lot. All of these people and there are more. I've gotten DMs. I would say, okay, it's definitely fair to be upset about the scenario, but also in context, these DMs are happening in 2022. Gigi is like 14 or 15 at this point. Expecting professional level stuff, a 15-year-old is probably not gonna happen. But of course, Jenn is completely valid and feeling really frustrated. All these people are upset because their coder, Gigi, made a bunch of mistakes. Jenn says, I never complained about paying anyone, but when it came to Gigi, she constantly asked for more and more at random times, sometimes months after the commissions was over. It came to a point when she asked for half of my game's current revenue. Wait, that's nuts. So here's Gigi saying, also, I need 35k Robux. I transform your game and without me, it wouldn't be the same. Pay me 35k for making your game like this. Jenn says, you want 35k as a thank you for making my game like this? Gigi says, no payment for my work. I deserved way more than you've paid me. Jenn says, that work is over. I already paid you for that. When you work more, you can raise your prices. Gigi says, you have 172k, come on. Jenn says, I'm not gonna pay you more for work you did in the past. Gigi says, commission? I want an extra 35k Robux for all of my work in your game. You have 180k. Jenn says, that's not how payment works. You can't make me pay more for things you already did. And Gigi says, wait, when you get a new scripter, remake the GUI because that's my style and I will always use it. Jenn says, are you effing kidding me? Oh, that's crazy. Also, I want to add 35k Robux is about 437 USD. Here's Gigi saying, hey Jenn, you have 31k Robux and 23.8k pending. Can I get my payment for the St. Patrick's Day update now? Jenn says, yeah, sure. How much? Gigi says 25k. Don't give Luca the 5k. My username is Quenanes. Jenn says, KK, are you sure? I'm paying you $350 worth of Robux for St. Patrick's Day. Jenn says, very odd sexual comments Gigi made towards me during our time working together, as well as sending a random person NSFW videos. So Gigi says, Jenn, you're so annoying. I hope you walk into your grandma self-pleasure self-pleasuring. Jenn, you're so annoying. I hope you walk into your sister's self-pleasure. Jenn, you're so annoying. I hope you walk into your uncle's self-pleasuring. Well, that's too far. Sorry, I took it too far. Jenn, you can fire me. Well, good night. Unmute me at Jenn. Good night. I'm sorry. I never meant for it to go that far. So they're just kind of talking, and then Gigi says, you're a very good mother. Jenn, why did you randomly just send anime corn to somebody? Gigi says, we were talking about Smex, and then I just sent corn to everyone. Jenn says, you cannot send corn to random people. And Gigi says, Layla banned me for 60 seconds. Are 14-year-olds really this bored? I never did this at 14. Look, I've never done this in general. Is this like a casual 14-year-old experience nowadays? I don't know. I feel old, man. And Jenn adds, some rude and nasty moments I thought I'd include in this nice montage. Here, Gigi says, the skirts are ugly as hell. Jenn says, me make the most Robux from game passes. Skirt game pass is gonna make a lot. I know it will. I want to try the skirts on though. And Gigi says, remake them. They suck. Jenn says, I didn't make them. Let me try them on. I'll be the judge of that. Gigi says, I removed them. I think I have some images. And Jenn says, why would you? And Gigi says, there's no lace on the top. Jenn, you are the worst coming up with names. Just hire somebody who can do it. Gigi says, it wasn't my idea. Why not start 2022 by blocking toxic people? And then Gigi's like, friend me. Jen's like, what? Gigi's like, friend me. Get me back, you dumb. See you next Tuesday, ho, son of a F word slur for gay people. Jenn says, why? Gigi says, I have nothing else to do. I quit my work. Help you. So Gigi sends a photo of a Malibu strip club in Roblox. And Jenn asks, so when are you able to rewrite or whatever? So you have to make the player something. And Gigi says, it's so messy, I don't want to look at it. Jenn says, if you do it right one time, you don't have to keep coming back and doing it. Be untrue, but the first two screenshots show me and Gigi talking about me making a game with skin bodies. No dress-up games have done it yet. And the third photo is Gigi late last year asking about my old teams. So here is Jenn telling Gigi that they're fired for leaking Jenn's age. So here in the DMs, Jenn says, so you're interested in working on the city? And Gigi says, sure, yes. And here are some DMs between Gigi and Jenn, with Gigi asking about the JMM devs, where Gigi is looking for somebody who can make Sims hair. Unseen footage of our body base, which is a skin body. So Jenn continues, staff, and if any of them were active, I wonder what she needed them for. And then a photo of the body my game was planning on using before production became slow. I'm not saying anything other than I'm surprised to see her saying people are copying her. She did end up hiring a lot of my old staff, which hurt just a little because I wasn't aware of the project until it came out. Anyways, here are some fun additions. Here's Gigi saying, Jenn, I won't rewrite the data store because I heard you have been talking shit and spreading lies about me by some of your staff members, and I don't have the time and energy to rewrite everything. It's so messy. Ask your new scripter to fix it. Jenn says, I haven't though. Did they show you screenshots? Because I haven't said anything bad about you. I'm too busy to talk shit. Please just do data. I'm paying you, and then you can leave if that's what you want. I really never truly said anything bad about you. And Gigi says, quote, okay, Jenn told me, don't get mad at her though, end quote. And Gigi says, Jenn, I'm getting blackmailed. Somebody tricked me and then got my location. Now I have to give them all the JMM items. And then Jenn says, what? Don't give them shit. And Gigi says, never mind. They only got the name of my country. Dude, this is wild. I'm sorry I'm jumping back and forth, but I'm really trying to go back and forth in the order chronologically of when these were posted. So back to Peacherino's thread, wrote, adding more because it gets worse. Harassed influencers days before the incident, removing and bribing people to stay silent. Harassing more influencers than Luna like Susie, etc. Luna writes, okay, this part I was very upset by. Umoe was trying to blame me for making a document without solid proof. She gets so defensive to protect Gigi, trying to blame it on my ex-friends too, Val and Vivi. Umoe and Owen kept speaking to me, and it was stressing me out. I kept explaining it was stressing me out. Gigi also added me on Discord. So here is Umoe accusing Luna of making a doc. Luna says, I was so scared because I thought no one would believe me. This is the first screenshot. Luna being, sorry, could you explain more to me, like how am I linked to a doc? Because I don't get it. And Umoe is talking about Chowi's tweets about getting fired. And then the doc accusation. And then here's Umoe stating, okay, got it. Thanks for clarifying again. Totally understand since Chowi is your friend. I'm also not going to force you to unrepost anything, just as a note, by the way, it's your account. And here is Luna stating that they felt pressured to apologize. And Peacherino adds their own thoughts. Gigi was 15, having a literal 18 plus server, disrupting and buying and receiving other minor NSFW photos and 18 plus content. Did you do that at 15? As much as I'm trying to be empathetic to Gigi and their age, I definitely was not doing that at 15. Peacherino adds, Gigi at 16 was making racist jokes about Muslims and black people being neither of those races. Did you do that at 16? Gigi at 17 stole assets from other teenagers, made a multiple $1 million game from it, threatened to sue them if they spoke about it, wanted to accuse somebody of R-word to make sure their game didn't grow, continue to this day to be racist and fatphobic. Did you do that at 17? I'm deadass wondering why these influencers have even taken the time to talk about these issues and decided to chalk it up to high school drama. When girl is committing crimes, like please be so real right now. For people who want to discredit Sarah for being 21, acting like she's a fossil, you're Jenn, alpha, and unloved. Secondly, Sarah and Gigi have a 4-year age gap, not a 40-year one. Equivalent of your older sibling telling you off. Can your older siblings not criticize you because you're younger? For the people who are saying, I don't want to quit, I spent so much money, bitch, you spent $20, you'll be fine. Finally, all the people affected, including myself. Are all teenagers teenagers and you need to ask yourself, why were all these little kids afraid of one girl? There's so much more that hasn't even been stated yet. So many more silent voices, and y'all are the reason why they didn't want to say anything at all. After all of this is absolutely crazy. I'm curious as to your thoughts about this entire scenario. These are some crazy things that Gigi has done. I'm gonna be real. But also, I'm trying to give benefit of doubt because they're young. They're only 17 years old. I gotta say though, I wasn't doing that stuff at 17. Me now at 24 is nowhere near the same person I was at 17 years old. Gigi has done some fucked up stuff, I'm gonna be real, to a lot of people. But I am personally truly hoping that they can grow and be a better person, and that when they turn like 21 years old, that they can look back and be like, man, I was a shitty person back then, but I'm a better person now. That is what I'm truly, truly, truly hoping could happen from this scenario, because Gigi is so young. But again, we can't forget that even though they are young, there is still right from wrong. At 17 years old, you're not stupid. You should recognize that the behavior you're doing is not okay. And I truly hope they can learn and be better. Again, please don't harass anybody, including Gigi. They are literally a minor. I'm curious as to your thoughts below. I also do stream on Twitch if you want to go see me yap there. It's Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you guys there or in another one of my videos. And again, I also do want to add a little apology. Sorry for all these short videos coming out, by the way. I upload one video a day. I went to TwitchCon and then I've been sick. So the long videos are slowly rolling out again. I am still currently sick as of filming, but when I'm back from going to visit my family, I will be better and more videos will be coming out, longer videos, because I know you guys like those. It's just, I've been sick. So anyways, like this video for my suffering and my coughing through all of this. And I hope to see you guys in another one.